A very rainy good afternoon from Germany here. In today's video I wanted to show you guys the big differences between apartment life versus van life. But before that, let me quickly introduce myself to you guys. I'm Vanessa, I'm 24 years old, and since around 1 year and a few months, my partner and I and our adopted rescue dog Mister have been living full-time and traveling full-time in our 27-year-old RV. It's a Hümer and his name is Albert. Since 9 months we were doing a Europe road trip, which has been so much fun. We visited countries such as Switzerland, Italy, France, and we spent quite a lot of time in Spain. So since 9 months we literally haven't stepped into an apartment, but we decided that we needed a little bit of balance, so we got into an apartment. I think today is our 3rd day here and we are enjoying it a lot, and it's just insane to see which things we noticed and things we appreciate that we maybe never really appreciated before when we used to live in an apartment permanently. So today I want to share with you guys those differences between living in an apartment or house and in a van or RV, because I think it's very important in case you're planning to buy a van or RV and move into it. It's important for you to know the differences. Mind that it's only my opinion. Some big buses might have way more equipment than a small van has. So feel free to leave a comment down below about your opinion. Maybe you've lived or traveled in a van before and maybe you agree or disagree with something. I'm very curious what you think of it. Let's start. To make you guys understand how big the differences are, I thought we should start in the beginning of a day. So usually in a van, you wake up in the morning and of course, first things first, you sometimes have the luxury to see a beautiful place out of your window, a different place that you just traveled to. In a van, you have a different view out of your bedroom window every single day. And if you live in an apartment, of course, your apartment is on the same location forever. And you most likely will have the same bedroom view every single day. But let's start with waking up in your actual bed. In a van, you have to get up and make your bed, not just tidy up your bed sheets and your pillow. In most vans, I would say they don't have an actual bed that stays there the whole day. Usually it's a sofa, a couch. In our case, we have to push it up as our bed is over our driver's seats. And in the first days of van life, it might not look like this is gonna annoy you, but after a few months or maybe even a few weeks, you will kind of enjoy waking up in an apartment every now and then. Because in an apartment, you wake up and of course you have to tidy up your bed sheets, but you don't have to, clap your bed or, put it together and make a sofa or a couch out of it. Let's move on. Next step. Right after waking up, I would go to the sink area, wash my face, brush my teeth. Now, I guess you wouldn't think it's such a big difference, but trust me, there are big differences. In a van, you do have limited water. Not every van has the equipment to have hot or warm water. We, in our RV, we have hot water boiler, but we only use it when we take showers, so we don't have to take cold showers. But in the morning to wash our faces and brush our teeth, we don't boil the water to do this. We just use cold water. And sometimes in a van you just don't have water anymore. In a van you have very limited water supplies. You have to fill up your water tank every now and then, depends how much you use. And in an apartment you don't have that problem to deal with. You have unlimited water supplies in most apartments. You also have hot water and warm water as much as you want. Going to the toilet. In an apartment you have unlimited space in your toilet, and in the van, guess what? You don't. You have to empty your toilet every now and then, depending how much you use it, depending how much you fill it up, and depending on how empty or how full the toilet is in the morning. Sometimes you have to go straight to a petrol station or to an emptying station and empty your toilet. Not the best thing to do right in the morning, but I don't know how you guys feel, but one thing that I crave in the morning right away is coffee. While living in a van, it might take a few minutes to boil your water for your coffee though, as in the van, for example, Fernando and I, we don't have a water boiler. We have a kettle that we have to fill up, put it on the stove and wait a few minutes for the water to be hot. In an apartment, anytime you want, doesn't matter how much gas you have in your gas bottle, you can use first of all, the stove, and second of all, boil water in a matter of a minute. Fernando and I own a dog. For us, one of the first things we need to do in the very early morning is to go out with our dog.
How do you like apartment life or van life better? What's your opinion, Mister? Huh?
I think going out for walks with our dog is so much more fun while living in a van, because every single day, if you want, you can have a different location right in front of you. You can explore this place while going out with your dog. Doesn't matter if it's in a city or a beach or a lake. Versus living in an apartment, you will wake up in the same place every day, except if you have a lot of different apartments. If yes, congratulations. And if you're like me, I'm a person who gets bored very, very quickly. I do need, something different every now and then. Depends what kind of person you are, what kind of lifestyle you are looking for. If you guys follow Fernando and me for a little bit longer, you know that we work full-time online, and working full-time online in a van can be a bit stressful. First of all, you got the internet connection that can be really bad sometimes. And second of all, space. In the van, we sit very close to each other, most likely in front of each other, working all day on the laptop. And in an apartment, I noticed since the last few days, it just is so good to have my own working space, take the time to focus on the things that I want to get done, and Fernando can focus on the things that he wants to get done. After finishing work, it is time for some good breakfast or lunch, depends if you eat breakfast, if you do intermittent fasting, whatever you like. There are a lot of negative and also positive sides while living in a van versus also living in an apartment. What I like of being in the van is that you have to get creative. You basically are cooking and also living minimalistic. And I think that brings you to your limits, and also you're kind of forced to get creative while cooking. We, for example, don't have an oven in our RV. So for us being here in an apartment for a little bit, we're just so happy and grateful that we can use the oven. We can, bake some toast, some sandwiches.
And basically you don't need to go up and down the stairs bringing your groceries.
Yes!
The groceries, you are already at home.
I totally forgot that. That is just so insane. That is like a game changer. Fernando and I, we go to the grocery store, we buy the groceries, we don't even use the bag, we just put all the groceries in the trolley, we go to our RV, put everything in the fridge, into the cabinet, and that's it, done. Now if you do the groceries while living in an apartment or in a house, you go to the supermarket, you buy the things, you pack them into the bags, put them in your car, drive home, and then put the bags upstairs into your apartment or house, and then put them in the fridge and into the cabinets. It's a big life-changing, game-changing thing, guys. You save so much time when you live in a van and do the groceries, trust me. So after that, you might want to take a little break, maybe watch a little bit Netflix or just scroll on your phone. Of course, in an apartment you have way more space. Practically I could be relaxing here and Fernando could be in the bedroom. In a van, that's not really possible because the bedroom is basically the living room. But I have to say, I believe that chilling in the van is more cozy and very cuddly and kind of romantic about it because it's small. I think it's more cozy for me in the van because everything is smaller. I think most of the times smaller places are automatically more cozy. Maybe in the afternoon you decide to go somewhere, to maybe go for a hike in the forest or see some historical town. You would leave the apartment right now and drive with your car to the place where in the end you have to come back, maybe get stuck in traffic, but in the end you come back to your apartment. Now if you live in a van, you drive to this specific place, to this location that you want to visit and explore on this afternoon, and if you want, you always have the option to just stay there. If you find a nice car park, you can always stay there. You save time, you don't have to think about driving back to another location, you don't have to get stuck in traffic. In case you get stuck in traffic, you can also just decide spontaneously, hey, I want to get out of this exit on the highway and just stop somewhere and watch the sunset. Living in a van, you can be and decide more flexible than living in an apartment. When your van, your RV is your home, you have everything with you. If you need to change your clothes, if you need to go to the toilet and there's no public toilet around you, you have everything in your tiny home on wheels. And then, the end of the day, going to sleep. Now, sleeping in a van can be awesome if you have a safe place, a peaceful place, a quiet place that you can stay there. But that doesn't happen every single time, guys. I know that #vanlife looks super magical and super peaceful on Instagram. The truth is that finding sleeping spots while living full-time in the van and working full-time can be challenging. We got kicked out by the police many times before. We had to move on in the middle of the night. Once it becomes nighttime, once it gets dark, you're maybe a little bit scared, maybe it feels a little bit dodgy. It can always happen, and you know, we've had those moments before where we just didn't feel safe and we had to move on. Living in an apartment, you never really get through this kind of experience. You are in your home, you're safe, you know that, you have a locker on your door, no one can break in. I hope so. Now, if you live in a van, you might have many peaceful nights, but also many nights that in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., you will wake up with people partying, people screaming. It can all happen, and it will happen. So you're really living out of your comfort zone. In general, if you live in a van, you're living out of your comfort zone. You live on your limits. Another thing is that when you are in an apartment, you have to keep your voice down because you want to respect your neighbors, right? But living in an RV, sometimes you are in the middle of nowhere, there's no one around you, and you can be as loud as you want. You can play music as loud as you want. No one will complain because no one can hear you. So the end result for me personally, guys, is there is no right or wrong thing to do. In the end, you have to follow your heart and your guts and decide what kind of lifestyle do you want to live, what kind of needs do you have. If you are a person that doesn't like to leave their comfort zone, then you might be better off living in an apartment. But you can always own a van to, you know, every now and then go on a trip and sleep in the van, maybe for 1 week, maybe for 2 weeks. You don't have to live right away full time in the van as Fernando and I did. Now, my personal opinion is that I love traveling, and while traveling, living in the van. But once I am on the exact same location as we are right now, I look more forward to apartment life because I like to have my routine as well. I like to have my own space, my privacy. So again, for me, it's all about the balance. I love how humble van life is and how it makes me appreciate the small things in life and how it makes me grateful every single day. You have way more commitment and costs coming at you once you live in an apartment. When you own a van, of course, your van is your everything. You have to fix it, you have to go to the mechanic, that's also a lot of cost, but in the end it is cheaper to live in a van. You can save way more money, you're not gonna go into debts, and you don't have that big of a commitment. If you don't like a place, you can move on the other day. So if you are watching this video right now and you are thinking about buying a van or not, do it, because I think van life is a lifestyle that you have to love it or you hate it. And if you hate it, maybe it's not the thing for you. And you know what? That's okay. So leave a comment down below with your thoughts on what you appreciate living in a van and what you appreciate living in an apartment. And I can probably talk about this for 10 more years, but that's all for now. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a little bit different than normally. I usually do vlogs on this YouTube channel. I love doing vlogs. I love taking you guys somewhere nice. But as you know, we are in Germany. It is lockdown. So I'm trying to get a bit creative here and do some things that I've never maybe done before. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you enjoyed today's video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay positive. Mwah.